include yourself, take that off. And we'll see what happens. It should bring everyone up.
All right, you are live.
All right, thank you, Patrick. We'll call today's virtual school board meeting to order. It's June 16th, 12 p.m. And we'll start our meeting with our invocation and pledge. Mr. Carswell.
Thank you. Bow with me, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for this time that we can just gather together in a free country. We thank you for the community that we live in. And we pray and ask that you continue to bless our community, bless this board meeting, Lord, bless our students and our teachers and our staff and the school district as a whole as we move through these days, and just lead and guide us as we go. For us in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Carswell. Appreciate that. We did not receive any emails requesting to speak on an action item or any emails to speak at all that I'm aware of. Is that still correct, Mr. Carswell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go beyond that. We'll now move to close and adopt today's agenda. Everyone should have a copy of that agenda. And can I get a motion to close and adopt?
Mr. Chair, I'm to
close and
approve
adopt.
and adopt the agenda.
I'll take Ms. John there, I think, and I got Ms. Smith for a second. So thank y'all for jumping in there. All right, we'll move on to our action items. The first item is the approval of a contract with North Florida Regional Medical Center, Lake City Medical Center Company Care for laboratory services. And I'm gonna recuse myself on the vote on this one. So they are my primary employer as well. And Lex, if you'll ask Donna or somebody to put together the correct paperwork for me to sign off officially recusing on that one.
I will do that, but the attorney is telling me that we did not actually take a vote for the agenda.
Oh, I apologize. I got a motion and a second and didn't take a vote. All right. Any discussion on the agenda? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now the first action item. Anyway, at this point, well, I will accept the motion on action item A.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move we approve the item.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for action item A, the approval of a contract with North Florida Regional Medical Center and Lake City Medical Center Company Care for laboratory services per the attached to the agenda. Any discussion on this item? All right, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, I'll call the vote 4-0 with myself recused. Next is action item B, personnel items. Mr. Superintendent, are all the personnel items on the agenda correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll accept the motion to approve personnel.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the personnel items that are listed.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second regarding personnel. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next is our consent agenda. There's quite a few things on the consent agenda today, but Mr. Superintendent, anything we need to add or remove?
No, sir, they're all in order. A lot of stuff from NEFAC and a lot of contracts through the ESE department. That's why it's pretty bulky, but everything is in order.
All right, do we have a motion regarding consent?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Ms. Giddens. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Johns. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Well, I think we'll be a quick meeting today, it looks like. We're now at the section where we'll do comments, and I'll start with Ms. Giddens.
Not really any comments. Well, I do. I'm continuing to meet with our senior parent organization at Fort White High School. So we're looking forward to our graduation and our end of the year activities. I do want to get an invitation out to all of you, all of the members, but just please mark down on your calendars that we are having baccalaureate on Thursday, July the 30th, the senior parent organization. It will be at Christian Fellowship at 6 o'clock. So as the president of the senior parent organization, that's my invitation to you. I'll try to get out some written invitations, but just please mark that on your calendars. So we are looking forward to our formal activities at Fort White High School for our seniors. So,
Repeat that date.
I'm sorry?
Repeat that date again, Dana, and time.
The 30th, that's a Thursday. It's going to be at Christian Fellowship in Columbia City at 6 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
So we are looking forward to those activities for our seniors. So, and thank you for all that you're doing. I'm like Mr. Nelson, I'm ready to get back, see all of you in person and kind of get back to normal. I'm glad everybody's staying safe, but I am looking forward to a little bit of normalcy. So, but thank you for all that you do.
All right, thank you, Ms. Giddens. Ms. John.
I really don't think I have any comments. I was just looking forward to some updates with Mr. Carswell, I think. So really no comments.
Okay. Mr. Hudson.
I don't have any comments, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. Ms. Smith.
You all assigned me to be on the open school task force with Ms. Hope Jernigan. We met, we were given assignments, and what we are going to do is come back together actually this week to discuss options. And I'm thinking Mr. Caldwell might give us some more insight on what the State Department is expecting from us as far as coming up with different options. I know the main option, the first option for all state is to just walk in, all schools is to go walk in as we have in the past, but we have to have other options that would be sent to the State Department. Now, when we meet on Thursday of this week, if I'm not mistaken, we will come up with some options to submit to the superintendent, and I assume he would submit those to the State Department. But that's where we are right now.
Thank you,
just
Ms.
at the initial stage.
Mr. Carswell, would you like to comment?
Yes, I have several things I want to update everyone on. First of all is the letter to the health department. You've got the copy of it. I'll keep you posted on that. I am CCing it to the county commissioners. I'm just confused as to why the duplication of services need to be done. So that's the first thing. I'm going to save the reopening for last because I've got a short 3-slide PowerPoint I want to go over with everybody. It's a draft. I do want to announce to the board that it went live yesterday morning at 7:30. We rolled out our kindergarten registration. In other words, every child that registers in our district now, starting with kindergarten, will register online. Awesome achievement by Patrick and Sherry and Jamie and that whole crew in MIS. All the school leadership and their data people did a great job, but we're excited. And as of this morning, we've had 95 people register online for kindergarten. So that's an awesome achievement. At the top of your board agenda, we just put a little reminder for the public out there that our school board meetings in July will be July 21st and 28th at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. No, I know everybody knows that, but it didn't hurt to remind everybody. And we will be having a budget workshop as soon as the governor signs the budget. We'll probably have that sometime in July as well. We'll get with y'all and get a good date in the auditorium again, just so that we can make sure that we are all, understanding. He hasn't signed the budget yet, but what we believe is going to happen is it's going to be the same budget that the legislature approved. So we've got a lot to understand with that. And now I want to try to, and if I go away, I apologize. We're going to email you all this stuff later on this afternoon, but I'm going to try to present a PowerPoint presentation. Can everybody see that?
Not yet, Lex.
Not yet.
I don't,
No.
All right, tell Patrick or somebody I need some help. It ain't working. It's on my screen. Let me get out of it. But the bottom line is, I'll go ahead and start so we don't waste any time. Is that we've been working hard, like Ms. Smith says. I appreciate her coming in here and representing. Last Monday night, we met with parents. So we got parents input, and we think we're going in a good direction. We've got about 9 different silos, is what we're calling, trying to navigate through this.
You're up now.
Okay, so y'all got this. Thank you. All right, so let me put it live. All right, so this is just the first slide. These are the 9 areas that we're looking at. We believe that August 10th, we will have school, unless something happens since then. So if anybody asks you at Publix or Walmart or any other place, or when are we starting school, you can say with pretty confidence that August 10th, we're planning on starting. And like Ms. Smith said, the first plan is to start with normal, but we also know that that's a shot in the dark maybe as well. So these are the 9 areas. I believe there's 9 that we're looking at. 10 areas, we added one. School activities, we are going to limit, as we speak right now, all extracurricular field trips, unless it's FHSAA related, and we're going to ask them to not leave the school till 3:30, because we know buses are going to be needed at schools and around to help our kids. So just a lot of stuff that we're dealing with school activities, things like that. But that's primarily after school programs and things like and the extracurricular. We're going to limit those and not allow field trips anywhere for the first 9 weeks. Facilities, obviously that's a huge one. We're doing a lot of cleaning right now. We're making sure everything's good. We're putting shields up in front of the front desk personnel at schools to make sure that when people come in, it'll be a glass shield that breathing and coughing on people won't be able to happen. We're doing deep cleaning. We're going to have sanitizers at every school. We're going to clean the facilities throughout the day. We're going to space kids out throughout the day. In the classroom, we're not going to have large groups sitting in front of the teacher like they used to or have in the past, where the teacher might read to them. But we are continually working on facilities and trying to come up with a plan. We're looking at a plan on the facilities as to how we would start school and what that would look like with kindergarten kids coming and parents wanting to be dropped, to walk with their kids and all that. But we're working on all that as we speak. Transportation is obviously very, very, very important. We will clean the buses deeply before school starts, and then we will clean them between every run. And we're going to follow CDC guidelines as much as we can to make sure that we keep people distant. Transportation, in my opinion, is the biggest key to all of this, is whether or not we can operate. Health, here again, we're going to be screening people. We've started summer workout programs with our extracurricular activities this past Monday. We have a plan in place for them, and I'll make sure you have a copy of that. That's gone well. I think Fort White started this week. I think Cindy High is going to start in the next week or so. But we are taking temperature checks, and we're doing all kinds of social distancing. We just want to make sure that everybody stays healthy. We are not going to mandate masks be worn by everyone at this point. We will not let you can wear a mask if you would like. So we're just trying to keep on top of this. We are going to have a workshop in July with parents. And we're asking parents to come to the workshop in the board auditorium. We're going to bring some health officials in to simply go over to parents what they can do to prepare their child for coming to school. We want to make sure our kids come healthy. We want to make sure our kids come clean, and we want to make sure our kids know more about it. We've got a litany of things that we're going to go over with the kids, and we're actually going to start this July 6th when we start summer school in a few of the schools. We're going to start implementing all these strategies during our summer program so that we can make sure that we have the kinks and everything worked out by the time August 10th starts. But we're going to do a lot of hand washing videos and just showing people how to cover coughs, and just, if you have a temperature, don't come to school. If you have a temperature, don't eat 2 Tylenol and come to school. Stay home. And so we're going to do a lot of stuff to help. Closing the achievement gap, that's obviously something we're always concerned about. But now that this COVID and this distance learning hit, with the state data shows that if you're in a home that has 2 working parents, and you have the means to have internet, and you have the means to have college-educated parents, then you're probably going to have a higher chance of getting through this than if you live in a lower socioeconomic home and you don't have the internet. So we're going to work really hard at trying to catch that achievement gap and closing it back. We did a really good job before the COVID, but we know we have to continue to do that. So we're going to put some emphasis on that. Food service, not a coffee, working around the clock. There will probably be limited menus. We've already worked with them to see how we can get kids to the cafeteria and stay 6 foot apart. They're working on that. We've got that plan in place. The question right now is whether the CDC is going to allow us to have kids in the cafeteria, or will they have to classroom with a bag lunch. If they have to eat in the class with a bag lunch, then we've got to negotiate with the union to work through that process as well. But all these are already in place, or not, they're not in place. The planning stages in place. Staffing, we're just concerned mainly with staffing is what happens if someone doesn't want to come to work because they're still worried about COVID-19, and we're going to handle those on an individual basis, and all those will be sent probably to our attorney, Megan Logan, for her interpretation to see whether or not they qualify for family medical or any kind of leave under the COVID Act. But staffing, we want to make sure they help. We're going to do everything we can to protect our staff, keep our staff safe. Lots of Keith Hatcher ordered lots of soap. We've ordered probably double what we normally would order for soap and cleaning supplies and hand sanitizers and things like that. I'm going to skip instructional programming because I have another slide for that. Communication, that's the key. We're trying to really work hard to make sure everybody understands things. We try not to put things out on social media, and you haven't seen this slide presentation yet because we're trying to keep it, make sure it's fact before we put it out there. But this is all going to be released hopefully before July 1. Hopefully sometime next week we're going to roll out our whole reopening plan as it sits right now. But it's all a draft. And then the last that we're calling is mental and emotional well-being. Judy Tatum's office and the board all passed an EPA program, EAP program where all of our staff can get mental health services right now for free. And so we're going to continue to keep track of that, continue to look at that, and continue to work through that process. Those are the silos that we're trying to operate under. Here is the actual plans that Ms. Smith kind of alluded to of traditional instruction. That is pretty much the way it's always been, what it is. The one that's really going to be the one that we're going to work on the next few weeks is our Columbia home group. What that basically is that we want to be able to enroll every child that wants to be enrolled in our school system in a homeroom class. And if they still want to stay home for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to allow them. And so if they're a 3rd grade child, we enroll them in their normal 3rd grade classroom, and we're going to ask that 3rd grade teacher to work with us through Google Meets, where we video her teaching the normal day with the kids in her classroom, and then that parent will be able to download that video from that afternoon to work with their child at home. There may be a little timing delay. In other words, what the 3rd grade teacher does on Monday, the child at home may not actually get to see the video until that afternoon, and they may be able to do it live. We're not sure yet, but those are our plans for homeroom. Algebra 1 would be done the same way. If a child wants to be at Columbia High or Footlight High and take Algebra 1, then we would work with a teacher out there and we have to negotiate all this probably as well, but through the process where we're planning on spending about $75,000 or $80,000 of this new CARES grant money to buy equipment that we can outfit teachers to do these videos without disrupting their normal day. And so we want to be able to ramp up how our digital learning is and can be done. And this way, if a child wants to spend 3 or 4 weeks out and then they want to come in, they can come right back in seamlessly. But the better part of all this, and this is why we're going to do it regardless, because we believe there's going to be some that want this option, is if a child gets COVID 3 weeks into school and he has to sit out for 2 weeks, he now has an option to keep up with his work while he's at home. And so this is a really good model, I believe. We haven't worked out all the kinks, and we're working on it daily to try to make sure it's going to run smoothly. But this is our option that we believe will be the option that allows us to function. And then the third option is just the straight distance learning that we did last spring break, with more of an emphasis on digital learning and less emphasis on paper and pencil. And what that's going to mean is that we're not going to produce as many paper packets, but what we will do is pass out devices. And we also will have to set up some Wi-Fi, some internet connection points throughout the district. And we've already done that. We've got Wi-Fi, and I hope I'm using the right term. If I'm not, Patrick can say something. But we've already set up internet capabilities, Wi-Fi, in the parking lots of all of our secondary schools. And so what might happen for some of our people that live out on the farm, like me, is that if I have a third grade child and that we want to stay in Columbia homeroom, if I don't have internet access, I can go to that school at any point during the day or that night and sit in the parking lot for 30 minutes, download the day's assignment, download the videos, download everything, take about 30 or 45 minutes, and then I can go back to the house, and the next day I can work on it. And so we also, Todd informed me this morning that Daniel and Todd, and by the way, Ed Carter you approved today to be the interim director. And we want to give a thank you to Ed Carter for willingness to step over and help Daniel out. Daniel's been deployed for 6 months, but Daniel and Todd have worked it out, and they're working through the process where we think we might be able to outfit a few buses with the Wi-Fi to take to certain high density student areas throughout the day and on a schedule. And so people will be able to come to them as well. Just a lot of things happening. I know I've kind of went fast. That's a slide that goes on through some things. This is what some things we're considering. Just a lot of signage, clean and disinfect. We're going to allow students to wear face masks. We're going to shut the water fountains off. We're going to ask students to bring their own water bottles. Obviously, if they can't bring water bottles, I'm sure Mr. Hatcher's saying this for the first time, we probably will have to purchase some water bottles maybe to pass out to different students. But that's kind of all of it in a nutshell. I'm looking through my notes. We do want to have a budget workshop in July because there is $2.5 million through the CARES money that the federal government sent to us. The private schools and charter schools have to get cut out of it first, so we're probably looking at around $1.8 million that we will get. We're looking through the requirements and how we have to do that. There's also what they call GEAR money, and we're eligible for about $250,000 of that money, and that will be used for the summer program that we're starting July 6th. Here again, private and charter schools are eligible for that as well. We'll have to give them their money based on poverty and based on FTE. Just a lot of stuff going on, and I've got this PowerPoint up that we're going to send y'all. We're going to put together a packet, and I wanted to express part. Obviously, employees, we would encourage to wear masks. But here again, I don't want to get into the disciplining of an employee because they don't do something like wear masks. I think we should wear masks. We will encourage to wear masks. I wear masks when I go out in public, to Publix and places like that. But I think at this point, on June 16th, it is an option and not mandated. But this could change, and I think I need to say that out loud. This could all change depending on what happens in our state, in our county over the next few weeks.
Well, I wasn't referring to the children. I was concerned about the personnel, but I understand what you're saying.
Anyone
Thank
else
you,
with
Mr.
any
Chair.
questions? Thank you, Ms. Smith. Anyone else with any questions for Mr. Carswell?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Johns?
not necessarily questions, but is there any way we can get a list of dates that are coming up, like Ms. Giddens mentioned, baccalaureate for Fort White? Can we get a list of dates emailed to us by any chance so we can be a little more organized since things have been a little abnormal? Please.
I'll have Ms. Simmons get that out to y'all this week sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing no further questions, Ms. Lauren, are you there? Did you have any comments today?
She's shaking her head no. She's
all right. That's fine. Just gonna wrap things up. I did want to ask a question. If Fred or Trey's on, how's the project at Columbia High going?
Fred was on.
Good afternoon. It's going very well. We're progressing, I would say, as scheduled. Having a little issue with getting materials delivered on time, but we think we've got it worked out. So it's very positive at present.
Good. I've actually seen Trey's posted a couple of things on the Tiger Town site, and pictures look good. I just want to make sure, I agree. I think we're moving towards an August 10th opening back up, and I just want to make sure we're going to be ready out there.
Yes, sir. We're going to do our best to make sure we are.
All right. Lex, we may want to, I was sitting here thinking about things, and I'm sure every other board member has been asked that same question. Are we opening, and what are we going to be doing? As our committee's putting together information, I don't know if we may want to start a page on our website where they can just click to it. And the heading needs to be, this is what today's information is. It could be changed tomorrow, but as of right now, kind of what are we working on? Gives people something they can go to and read through. We may can put some links on there to the, Department of Health and those kind of things that they can go in and read about precautions they need to be taking anyway. Anything we can do to help the public educate themselves would be a benefit.
Yes, sir. We will do that. We plan on rolling this out. Hope's sitting here probably next week. And when we do that, we will post it online. And when we post it online, it's free for social media to pick it up as well. And most of them do. Trey sent a text in because he's listening. He said the project out there is awesome. So I just wanted to relay out what the words are.
All right. Well, good. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. I appreciate everybody taking some time out of the middle of your day and let's get this done. And hopefully our next meeting will be face-to-face, and we'll be able to at least see each other a little better. So with that, I don't have anything else, and I'm going to call this meeting adjourned.